Hello, BookTube. I thought I would do something different because I've been barraging you with Henry Lawson read-alouds for the last week or so, and I just assume that you already have that Penguin Black Spine of Henry Lawson, so I thought we'd move on to something different and do some more Australian verse. Um, and again, I'm going to be reading from the Oxford Book of Australian Verse chosen by Les Murray. We know we love this book, and I'm going to be doing an anonymous verse. Sorry, this is A Hot Day in Sydney. We don't know who wrote this. It came out in 1829. And whenever you look up this poem, you'll get recommended Sir Philip Sidney, who is lovely, but it's not this poem. So anyway, it's long, and we'll see what we think of it. But here it is. Oh, this weather, it is more than a mortal can bear. I fear we shall melt together, so dreadfully hot is the air. On rising from bed in the morning, you feel yourself thirsty and hot, and while the toilet adorning, you're helpless as though you'd been shot. You get through the work with great trouble, the shave, the wash, and the dress, and then comes your breakfast to double the cause of former distress. The coffee, the tea, and the butter, the smoking hot muffin and bread, although you have to put a shutter, invite you in vain to fed. The tea and the coffee are hissing, the butter is melting away, the flies in the milk jug are kissing, the ants play in the sugar bowl. You rise in disgust from the table, and when your umbrella unfurled, you toddle as well as you're able to the haunts of the mercantile world. But whether you sit in your office or stroll down the market shops to bargain for your sugars or coffees, for snuff or tobacco or hops, you are still by no means forgetting the torments inflicted by the heat, for you are still puffing and sweating, a longing for a cool retreat. You wash in Collins' cooling water, you swallow some brisk ginger beer, you say to some kind of neighbour's daughter, "Oh, give me some swizzle, my dear." You go and take your luncheon at Back's, and call for cool jellies and buns. But hotter and hotter it waxes, the jelly its liquid soon runs. His dainties are only a pester, and so you withdraw from his shop, loud rangers and fiery northwester, as back to your office you pop. The streets are with dust so becold, you cannot see the way. The town is perfectly shroud, you secretly believe it is day. At length comes the wished honour of dinner. Anyway, your dwelling you go. But still, you are far from winter. The table displeases you so. For plenty the beef and the mutton, the cabbage, potatoes, and the peas, though cooked to delightfully glutton, your palate is in no degree pleased. The porter, the wine, and the brandy invites you to wet your parched lips. The beginning so perfectly handy, you take a succession of sips. But when your blood turns into fever and sets the whole system on fire, and finding the drink a deceiver, you'll soon the table retire. The drawing room, when you proceeded to, and the joins of ladies' discourse, but the heat will not let you give heed to the topics their sweet lips enforce. They offer you tea, bread, and butter, and the good things on the tray, but while your gratitude mutter the tea things you wish far away. They press the piano with fingers, so graceful, so tapper, so fair, that while on the scene your heart lingers, as the heat in your tempered to swear. And while they're busily fanning their beautiful faces and necks, to please them you would be planning, did the heat so not cruelly vex. At length you retire to your pillow, and hope for some comfort and sleep, but you toss like a tempest without billow, and you cannot keep in one posture. The heat almost stops you respiring, the blanket and quilt you kick off, the peace you hoped in retiring, you deplore a yawn and a cough. Mosquitoes keep humming and stinging, although all over your face, the cricket and the locust are singing, and sleep flees your eyelids apace. And there you are, tossing and tumbling, so beaten and bitten and stung, so weary of puffing and grumbling, you are ready to wish yourself hung. And such are and such are the pleasant of summer in this Australian land, How charming to every newcomer, in thus they charm an old hand. But still I wonder I would bear it with patience, and I would recommend you, convict that all the earth's nations, not one would be faultless too. And so that's the poem. That's a typical hot day in Australia. That's the very truth. That's what happens here. But yeah, that was a lovely verse. And yeah, thank you for listening, BookTube, and I'll see you next time.